Truck-kun get her? Oh no, she just yanked her, huh? I demand your soul.
This bitch got lightning cooned? Nah.
Oh, we got cock-blocked real hard there. Okay. The nuke's going off? This motherfucker creeps around pillars, man, like just non-stop. Hey, bada, swing! We don't even need our gloves. We can knock you out with just pure, I'm cranky when I wake up. What even is happening in this character design right now? I ain't even mad at that. That's just funny. I don't think he's gonna get that weird. I think he's gonna be what Yuri wishes he could be from Spy Family. No, it is. It's just as weird. I try to give this man the benefit of the doubt. It does very much feel Spy Family coded, though. The way she acted wasn't for like, I'm trying to protect myself, I was trying to protect you and I made a mistake. People, given the amount of love people have for the whole saint dynamic, I imagine an apology in this case would be enough. Which you can't always say in these shows, right? Hey you, if you got this sort of video, make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you happen to be new around here. Of course, Patreon, full live reactions and exclusives available over there if you also want to help fund the channel and videos just like the one you're watching. Let's jump back into it. So last week's episode of May I Ask for One Final Thing dropped a very funny revelation about Pinky and how she got, not Truck-kun, she got Lightning-kun, and it was a whole, oh, here we go, goddess storyline using her as a body. It's very interesting stuff, but then we say, screw that, we're gonna focus on the Sonya stuff, and honestly, I kind of respect it, I gotta be real. The Traitor reveal is surprising, but I really think they handled it as safe as they could, and I don't say safe as in the author didn't take risks, but more so, it gives a very precious character an out that really only she could have. Because usually when you get these, like, character betrays a group of people, so in this case, betrays an entire religion, feeding information as a spy to the enemy, who turns out to be your half-brother, which is a hell of a twist in of itself. But when you hear Scarlet say, just apologize, you know what? I think she could. If this was a case, which is what I thought they were building into, you know, she was no longer able to use her power, so therefore insert guy who's offering you a handful of magic beans that says it will give you your power back, feed us information for a year. That seems very self-indulgent. You're like, oh, you're doing this just for yourself. But the reason her saying, you know, just apologize when this is all over makes sense to me is because it was done out of the goodness of her heart of helping other people. The fact that we all probably thought this was a fear of like, okay, I'm no longer going to be needed, so this is why I'm going to do it. But then she's thinking to herself, okay, they're already saying they're going to replace me as the saint. But in the meantime, not having someone who can make barriers and stuff and all the monsters that could come into the general towns, a lot of innocent people could die if we don't have magic. This dude's saying, eat the beans, or the crystals, I'm going to call them magic beans, it's funnier to me, then therefore you can protect everyone. Yes, a year's worth of information is not worth it, because most likely feeding a year's worth of information is going to cause more death and destruction than potentially not having a magical barrier that could in return protect, right? But you see why someone would make a mistake like this, because it's easy for us as the viewer to say, we would never do this, this is so stupid, but we have a very different life than she had building up to this moment, right? Like she was, you know, kind of came from nothing and then hoisted on this pedestal and then all came crashing down. I need to protect people. I'm not good enough. I need to do whatever it takes. And honestly, she probably thought too, I could feed some minor information and it's not going to be the end of the world. Obviously we see it, you know, shit happen. But I actually really like what they did because it's one of the rare cases that you'll find me saying an apology is enough to make up for this. Because I don't think we need to say off with her head, she did this horrible thing. It's more of like, we just need to guide her better than clearly we did. Like, I mean, you got removed from your home at a young age and basically told you are the most important person potentially in the world. Yeah, you're going to do whatever it takes to protect, right? And honestly, respect for the fact that she basically was like, hey, not even I'm going to take my life so you can't force me to give information. I'm going to try to take yours. Is she a swordsman? No, but still, I appreciate the hustle nonetheless. And while certainly the whole half-sibling thing caught me by surprise, what really was the icing on the cake was me thinking, actually, we're just going to have a normal brother relationship. like normal as much as you can do, because once you kind of involved your sister in political schemes that could get her executed, it's not really normal in the normal sense. But I was like, oh, you know, I'm so used to like these really weird anime bros who like you can't tell if they're in love with them or love them, and maybe the line's so thin it doesn't really matter. I'm thinking, hey, finally we got a character who's not going to be like Yuri from Spy Family. And then it just turns out he's pretty much Yuri's spiritual successor. Still like the character, it's fun as hell, but you know, maybe one of these days we're just gonna get like a straight up like, hey, I realized I had a younger sister and I didn't, you know, act like I was in love with her. I do like the fact though that my train of thought watching that whole scene is I kept trying to justify him, like maybe there's an out, and then Scarlet just had to keep punching me as a reminder that no, he's just as weird as Yuri. But overall, pretty interesting revelations, and honestly, the past couple of episodes have set up a pretty fun endgame, all things considered. It really, like, ever since we learned that Scarlet was one half of the whole, like, goddess priestess storyline, things have really skyrocketed into being more than that one note, here's this woman who just wants to punch everyone who pisses us off. And even though production has definitely struggled over the past few weeks with a lot of art inconsistencies, like I still don't know what the hell was happening here, but I find that just hilarious. I mean, Royal Ripper from One Punch Man said I didn't like how I got treated in that show and decided to pop up with the with old Pinky. And overall, I think the thing that has me most excited overall is unironically her story, because like I've said, it's not often the isekai element of the story isn't your MC, because it's almost always, if there's multiple characters who have been isekai, then sure, like, there could be other characters that are antagonists that go against us. But the only show that I personally remember in recent time is The Executioner's Way of Life, where the character, not your MC, was isekai. So the fact that she's in control in a way that makes it feel like this is supposed to be my story, and then you add in the whole goddess stuff and what her body was supposed to represent, it's so interesting, and I'm not exactly sure where they're gonna go overall. Like, I don't imagine she dies anytime soon, but honestly, with the way Scarlet is as a character, I don't see how she survives to the end of this. I mean, it's very funny that Goddess Kun's hand comes out and lightnings this bitch, and then says, okay, I'm gonna use you for nefarious purposes, but here we are. Overall, though, this show, I think, could have been a lot more one note than it turned out, especially when you're dealing with such an angry MC. But honestly, I think my favorite part of Scarlet at this point isn't even the fact that she punches people who deserve to be punched, but it's honestly the soft sides of her. And I think the reason the soft sides of her work as well as they do is because you don't see them that often, and when they do, you know she genuinely loves and cares for someone. So I think in return, on top of the apology, getting over someone who betrayed their country, I do think makes sense. When you see a character like her play favoritism in the way she is, like, you just genuinely believe this girl deserves to be forgave, you know what I mean? Overall, though, past couple episodes been very fun, and thankfully Crunchyroll didn't fuck up the subtitles this week. Can they manage for another 3 weeks? I don't know. Time will tell. Let me know your thoughts down below, though. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, Patreon full live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I also like to give video shoutouts to my wonderful patrons. As today, we got Neko Chibi, Miguel Frances, Arnon Babala, Kim Andre Olsen, Jacob Winslow, Extrots, Tobias Reinhold, Flavdorks414, and we also have Wen2X. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.